rolling further from supine to side lying and coming to next level, that is prone lying, is a continuous motion. Once the person is able to turn or roll from supine to side lying, then the right arm which was coming across the trunk in the rolling from supine to side lying continues in the direction of roll and lifts obliquely across the face to reach towards the head of the bed. Simultaneously, there is extension and right side rotation of the head. Along with that, there is extension rotation of trunk once the arm has reached the opposite side of the head of the bed, and the arm grasping the head of the bed or therapist's hand helps by pulling the body to roll into the prone lying from side lying. After coming to prone, pillows are placed to maintain the position and make it comfortable. Reversal of the same sequence of movement by pushing through the right arm, then extension, rotation, reversal of the trunk, and then extension, rotation, reversal of the head, and then right arm continues to retract and coming back to the supine lying position is done in the reverse manner. Purpose and use: it helps to combat and counteract effects of long-term recumbency. It counteracts flexion of a posture and it aids in maintaining primary as well as secondary curvatures of the spine. It helps by providing the change of position for those patients who are not able to attain or maintain the side lying position. As we already saw, that side lying is a relatively unstable position and it is difficult to maintain. So person can directly come from supine to prone lying if it is comfortable for him. Next is bridging. Bridging is basically not a part of series from supine to sitting, but there are many important activities which needs to be done when the patient is bedridden. Bridging helps or assists in many of these along with activation of the extensor muscles of the back and hip. The person starts in crook lying, that is both the lower limbs are flexed. Then he or she is assisted to lift the pelvis. If the person is not able to perform even assisted lifting of the pelvis, the therapist has to almost passively lift the pelvis while the patient uh, arches the back, lifts the back, which is supported on the feet and the shoulders. Downward pressures from the hands can be assisting to stabilize the shoulder, as well as it provides reinforcement to the extensor muscles of the trunk. When the person is not able to stabilize the foot, a wall support, footboard or sandbag can be used. If therapist is not available, if person is not able to maintain the knees in flex position together, they can be strapped so that they are prevented from falling apart, and therapist can facilitate by stabilizing both knees through downward pressure or compression towards the floor, while simultaneously therapist also pulls the buttocks by providing manual contact to the gluteus so that the extensors of hip are facilitated to lift the back from the surface. The purpose and use of bridging is primarily for making bedpan and dressing activities of daily routine easier. They help in relieving sensitive pressure areas from the body weight when the person is not easily able to turn from supine to side lying or prone. It aids in preliminary training for lifting transfers and ambulation. When the person will come into sitting, the person has to transfer from one point on mat to the chair or wheelchair. During this activity, he or she has to lift the pelvis by pressing down the shoulders. That is the phase which is we are preparing for in the bridging activities right now. Even during the bedridden phase, if the person wants to shift from one side of the bed to another side or reach near the edge of the bed to reach for the some medicine or some object, then the person can be taught to bridge and shift towards one side as it is seen in the image. It helps in countering the effect of long-term flexion postures and activates extensor muscles of trunk and hip. It also prepares for firm weight bearing on the feet. As we know, there is compression and pressure force over feet. It prepares the feet for weight bearing when the person comes into sitting and standing position. The bridging can be modified to perform several activities to train the person for next level. Commonly, half bridging or assisted bridging is done, which is seen in these images. It can be done with only one knee bent, where leg is stabilized in extension with plaster after traumatic injuries. The extended leg can be supported with the use of low stools or sandbags or pillows. Both the legs can be supported in extension with the help of a bolster or a ball. Pelvis is lifted and the body is arched from heels to shoulders. When we are training a hemiparetic patient, holding the both the legs and stabilizing when we are performing bridging from crook lying helps to stimulate activities in the affected limb.